spectacular.
She scored the winner that sent them to this game. Here's a lineup then for Bayern Munich.
Leah Schuler, who had the second goal to tie it up on Wednesday and send it to PKs starting tonight. The other goal scorer, Linda Dahlman, not getting the start tonight.
May see her at some point. Very talented Bayern team. The reigning Bundesliga champions, lost in the Final Four of Champions League last year. Racing Louisville, the expansion side, kicks off in the white from right to left. A chance for their first ever trophy here at Lynn Family Stadium as they host the German Giants in the inaugural edition of the Women's Cup. It's been a very warm day in Louisville, Kentucky. Saw the hydration breaks in the first match, the third place match. Temperatures around 90 degrees. It's cooled off a little bit as we've gone into the evening, but still warm on the pitch.
We saw fans hunkering down in the shade in that first game, but starting to file into their seats as this one gets going.
A lot of opportunities here for some Louisville players for minutes that they haven't found yet during the regular season, especially for Taylor Otto. Just 15 minutes and 2 appearances as a sub this season, the number 11 pick in the most recent draft. Look for her in the middle, number 19. Here is Taylor Otto. Out for Aaron Simon. Christy Holly very excited about the opportunity in front of them tonight. He told us that if you would have said 18 months ago we'd be competing in front of a big crowd against Bayern Munich in a tournament with the Red Stars and PSG, don't know if he would have believed it. It's also for the club, the fans, the city, a chance to lift a trophy in their inaugural season here against a European giant and prove that they're not just an expansion team, they're a team that has a chance to compete already in NWSL.
What a stage for these players tonight, especially with 8 new faces in the lineup from Wednesday. If there was ever an opportunity to prove that you deserve to get those minutes, this is it.
Bayern Munich won the league title for the 4th time in team history this past season. Their first in a few years, ever since going back-to-back in 15 and 16. And the last 4 years since, runners-up to Wolfsburg. They finally got over the hump this year and finished 2 points better than Wolfsburg. 20 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. At one point winning 17 games in a row and making that run to the Champions League semifinal. Forward to Schuler. Working past Hendricks and helping out Sinclair Miramontes. Miramontes gets it further forward. Sent right back in her direction. Good tackle put in as she persists through. Miramontes looking for an opportunity with Louisville. 7 appearances, 1 start this season. 27th pick in the 2020 draft by North Carolina Courage before she was let go. A quick trial with Kansas City where her sister Sydney plays. But she grew up playing with her teammate here in Louisville, Addison Merrick. That connection opened the door for a trial. Miramontes earned the contract. As I mentioned, has featured 7 times since this season. On it again, Miramontes. Too strong on it, all the way back for Laura Benkart. Saki Kumagai on that left side for Bayern. Haley, we saw her get her further up the field in the win in penalties on Wednesday against PSG. She had the assist on the first goal. Brilliant interchange for Bayern Munich.
Yeah, they really do have some impressive build-ups as they work their way up the field. They know how to connect, find feet, and wait for that moment to where they see that lane they can slip it through.
Back to Kumagai. Venninger. The Austrian veteran, Venninger, She's played her whole career with Bayern Munich, 203 appearances ever since 2007. Jakobsen seemed like she was going to win a corner for Bayern. The assistant referee pointed goal kick. Natalie Simon, the official, pointed corner. In the end, they discuss it, and it appears the decision is goal kick. High line of pressure from Bayern. Nearly given away. Otto gets to it. Again, the 11th pick in the 2021 draft. 15 minutes in 2 appearances as a sub for Taylor Otto. Christy Holly's very excited to see what she can do in control of the central midfield today. Out to Berenstein. Berenstein still with it. Slips it through. Long run for Jakobsen to get there, deflects it. Betos pounces on it.
Great job there by Erin Simon, just enough to get a foot on it to disrupt the shot of Jakobsen.
Jakobsen, a very dangerous player up top for Bayern. 8 goals in 33 appearances for Real Madrid last season. A new acquisition for Bayern. The rich get richer. The German champions add that Swedish striker into the mix, and it's a very potent attack.
It certainly is. They are stacked from top to bottom. They have incredible depth. This is one of the most dangerous teams in the whole entire world, and head coach Christy Holly said that yesterday.
Didn't want his team to be afraid, though. Wanted them to respect Bayern, but not be afraid of them, and try to play the same way they would as if it were a regular NWSL match.
And in these types of games, that's exactly what you have to do. It's important to respect your opponent, but you do have to go in with a certain attitude, an attitude that shows grit, and that no matter what happens in this game, you're going to make it a fight.
Christy Holly could not be more proud of the team and the staff with who they've shown in the first half of the season. 4 wins, 4 draws, 6 losses. In 9th place, just 3 points out of a playoff spot as an expansion team, which he was quick to mention is never a crutch they want to rely on. Say, oh, you know what, it's okay. We're an expansion team. We'll get it next year. They believe they can compete for a playoff spot already this season. They're right on the outside looking in. They've been pesky for some teams, giving them all they can handle. And today could be the confidence boost that he thinks his team needs heading down the stretch of the regular season. You get a chance to lift the trophy, knock off a European giant. That is a very nice feather in the cap as you head down the home stretch of the NWSL season.
And at this point for this club, they've shown that they can play. They've gotten some results. They continue to prove that they're getting better. And again, Coach Holly said that it's about continuing to get better, continuing to apply the lessons that they've learned. And overall, it's about just putting the whole thing together and becoming more consistent.
Also battling fatigue as well. It's been a very tight schedule. He did admit, as an expansion team, the one excuse, not excuse, maybe not the right word, but the one true fact that you can't dispute, the depth is not there yet. So a lot of tired legs, tough schedule stretch. It continues to be tough with midweeks in the coming weeks, plus games on the weekend for Louisville. He said it showed up a little bit in the performance on Wednesday against Chicago. They were tiring late in that game, but he was proud of the way they were able to hold on, still force penalties, still come through to the final here on their home turf.
And while this is a match they certainly want to walk away from with the W, he does have to respect his players' bodies. It's about preserving and taking care of your players as you look to continue building this club.
Jakobsen from Berenstein takes the deflection. There was a dispute last time. This time Jakobsen does get the corner kick.
Good work by Jakobsen. Gets the ball at her feet, going on 1v1. Enough to get that deflection to go out of bounds to set up the corner kick. A big opportunity coming up here for Bayern Munich.
He scored off of a set piece, the 2nd goal in that game on Wednesday night. To the end line, chipped in, cleared away. I believe Otto put a foot in. A lot of bodies around there for Louisville, group defending, as Caroline Simone surprised them with the quick corner. And Lena Magul, the captain, took the space. Again, they go short. Now it's Simone, swung in, headed away. Simone had that free kick from quite a ways away that hit the crossbar and then fell for Schuler at the doorstep to not home.
Racing Louisville not sending 2 defenders out there and giving Bayern Munich that chance to play short there and then send it in.
Jakobsen still with it, cutting, taken down. Another set piece opportunity for Bayern Munich 10 minutes into this one.
Jakobsen showing she has confidence to not only take on 1 defender, but in this case, she almost beat 3 defenders. Splitting this seam right here, ends up going down. Good call, but dangerous positioning for a set piece coming up here for Racing Louisville.
Jakobsen, so difficult to handle. 270 pro appearances, 112 goals throughout her time spent in Sweden, Germany, Spain, England. 128 caps, 23 goals, Olympic silver, and a World Cup 3rd place finish with Sweden as well for Jakobsen. This one right into the wall from Simone. Kept alive. Second ball in from Simone. Back post. Opportunity was there for a rising Veninger.
That was a great clearance by Amina Ekic.
Ekic, already a fan favorite around these parts. She scored the game-winning goal in Louisville's first win as a franchise back on May 21st. Also had an assist in that game, a 2-0 win over Washington. She came on late as a sub and made quite the impact. She has a history in this area. Born and raised in Louisville, played her high school soccer here, 2-time Gatorade Player of the Year in the state of Kentucky, went to college at University of Louisville, standout in the ACC in her time there, number 5 pick in the most recent draft. She has done it all, and she's done it all right here in Louisville, Kentucky. ACC Offensive Player of the Year. Just a resume that goes on and on for Amina Ekic. It's easy to see why the fans already love her.
She's only 22 years old.
Fans already enjoying the work of Michelle Betos in goal this season. The veteran has started every game for Racing Louisville. 4 clean sheets, 74 saves. That's over 5 per game. Just 20 goals conceded. Otto steps on Jakobsen. A throw for Louisville. Otto's already showed up a couple of times in that midfield. Simon pulls it back for Kendricks. Out to Sinclair Miramontes, but lets it run by. Glass gets it back. Fresh off a silver medal with Sweden. Out to her fellow Swede, Jakobsen. Another corner for Bayern.
Bayern's definitely finding success going end line and getting these corner kicks off of it.
Inaugural Women's Cup final. Who will be the first ever team to lift this trophy here at Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky. With Haley Outen, I'm Joe Malfa. Thanks for tuning in here on CBS Sports.
We got our first look at that trophy here in the pregame. It's a pretty good looking one.
Very nicely designed. Jakobsen pinballs around a little bit, and it's dumped all the way down to midfield. Long run for Berenstein. 2019 World Cup runner-up with the Netherlands. Every starter today for Bayern has some level of international experience. Even 20-year-old Carolina Lea Williamsdottir from Iceland. Only 10 appearances so far. Flag goes up on Jakobsen. But Williamsdottir Prior to the senior national team, 10 goals in 22 games for the U19 squad. International talent all over the place for Bayern Munich. Great move in the middle. Amina Ekic draws the free kick.
Great footwork there by Ekic.
First ever NWSL player drafted out of the University of Louisville. She won the free kick. She'll take the free kick. It's a very high line from Bayern Munich. Say about 8 yards or so outside of the 18. Ekic lofts it in. Long run to keep it in. Doesn't matter, flag pops up. As Jorian Balcom looked to save it.
That was the goal of the high line for Bayern, and sure enough, it pays off.
Jorian Balcom, some experience in her back pocket against Bayern in the Bundesliga for MSV Duisburg last season. Signed a 2-year deal with Louisville in April after a successful preseason trial. Going from Germany to the United States. Native of Scottsdale, Arizona. Shayna Matthews closes the space. Nearly gets there in time, but Veninger just pokes it back to Benkart.
And you do see Racing Louisville very strategically shifting together as a unit, trying to trap Bayern and not let them out easy. They want them to hit that long ball.
Another benefit of this tournament for both of these teams, Christy Holly mentioned the coaching staffs would be meeting after this tournament was done to discuss notes they saw on each other's teams, not just because of this game playing against each other, but going into the tournament. He was able to sit down with the Bayern coaching staff. They would go over the footage of the PSG Bayern game, the Louisville Chicago game, and then if they were to meet each other, go over that. Coaches looking to share notes, improve their teams. Bayern begins their regular season and title defense 8 days from now. And Louisville, as we mentioned earlier, right back to their NWSL slate this week as they try and claw their way into the playoffs, just 3 points back at the moment. A lot to be learned from the opposite sides in this one, and the coaching staffs meeting together, meeting of the minds.
In these 90 minutes, it's all about competition, but outside of these games and outside of this cup, there is that friendly component where you have international teams, coming over to the U.S. And all in all, especially for the women's game, this continues to grow it. And you see young players out there that want to play on this stage, and for all of these clubs to continue improving only betters the game. So why not kind of get together as coaches and try to help each other out?
Foul goes against Magul. 4th season with Bayern for Magul. 13th season overall as a pro. Otto. Spent the last 4 years at UNC. Success there led her to hear her name called 11th in the 2021 draft. Up to Matthews. Cuts it back, but didn't get the deflection she was hoping for as she continues to plead her case out for a goal kick. Nearly 20 minutes gone, no real golden opportunities for either side yet. Very cagey in the early going here at Lynn Family Stadium. With Haley Outman, I'm Joe Malvin. Thanks for tuning in here on CBS Sports. Women's Cup final inaugural edition. One of these two teams will lift the trophy tonight, whether it takes penalties, whether it takes the final whistle at the end of 90 minutes. Someone will leave with a trophy.
And that's what these first 20 minutes are about. Each team in unfamiliar territory playing these clubs, so trying to get a sense for how this game is going to go and just take their time to sort of pick out the direction that might work best for them.
Great overall for women's soccer as well. Christy Holly touched on that. The time and energy that's been put in by the people before him, he said, they stand on those people's shoulders. The fact that an NWSL expansion side is hosting Bayern Munich in front of a big crowd at a new stadium in Louisville, Kentucky, doesn't get better than that. But said there's still a long way to go, and they have the momentum now to continue to grow the game. Cleared away by Erin Simon. Matthews cuts it back into space. Shayna Matthews sends it forward for Balcom. Flag pops up.
Right idea by Shayna Matthews. Is being aggressive. She's trying to get up the field. She's trying to get end line. Tries to slip Balcom in. Just timing's a little bit off, but keep learning.
And that's something that you could expect. You mentioned 8 new faces in this starting 11. Balcom, 5 appearances, just 1 start so far this season. Matthews, 10 appearances, just 2 starts. So it's been a grind for those two to see the field. A lot of talent ahead of them. The likes of Ebony Salmon, Nadia Nadim, among others, Cece Kaiser. And a glass to Sophia Jakobsen. Cut back. All the way through for Magul. Magul turns, shoots, it's blocked. Christy Holly mentioned in a previous role with the U.S. women's national team, he was responsible for scouting Germany. So he was actually familiar with a lot of these players, familiar with their style of play. Felt that would be a bit of an advantage coming into this, whereas Louisville, more of an unknown to Bayern Munich.
Yeah, there's not a lot of tape to watch on Louisville.
Berenstein. Good ball forward. Simone, end line, cuts it across. Great challenge put in by Simon, had to time it right. Making contact like that in the box. It's just a corner for Bayern Munich.
Simone going end line, trying to cut it back across the goal. Unselfish play. In the end, though, great defense. Able to clear it out. Now defend the corner kick.
Magul positions it. You can see the height advantage for Bayern. That was something that Christy Holly touched on. Nodded to the back post and just flicked away by Matthews. Kumagai was there. They've kept Michelle Betos clean so far. 2015 best 11 and goalkeeper of the year. Another corner sent in. Looked like it was going to be a free header for Veninger, but just passed her by in the end, and Louisville clears.
It was a great ball by Simone. I don't know how it made it through all of those players, but it did.
Veninger holds up the play, able to win it away from Miramontes. Benkart way out of the goal. Gathered by Malay. Now Miramontes. Louisville just doesn't seem to have all the white jerseys forward at the moment.
Yeah, a little bit slow getting up. Maybe a little bit of fatigue. It's hot, but they've been doing a really great job, I think, as a collective unit defending. So now we'll see if they can translate that into the attack as well, especially with numbers forward.
Matthews nearly forces a turnover. Benkart is there. First ever trip to play team from the United States for Bayern Munich. And again, looking for their second trophy of the preseason. Beat Lyon 4-2 in the semifinal and Roma 4-0 in the final of the 2021 French Cup. They were in that tournament with PSG. Did not play PSG, though, the way the bracket lined up. 17 of the 23 players from last year's title-winning squad are back for Bayern, and they're hoping for more. They went back-to-back the last time they won a title in 15 and 16. Since then, it's been 4 years as runner-ups to Wolfsburg. That was until last year, and they want to make it 2 in a row. Made it to the Champions League semifinal for the second time in 3 seasons as well. Ekic still battling through. 1v2. Just when it seemed like Louisville was starting to get their numbers across midfield, foul goes against Otto, alleviates some of that pressure on Bayern.
Good thought by Otto to step in there and try to lock in Bayern, but the foul turns this one the other way.
Simon. Back for Martin. Now Otto. Martin and Hendricks go back and forth again. Hendricks to Miramontes. Giveaway. Numbers here for Bayern. Run coming from Jakobsen. Shot is taken instead. Might have taken a deflection. Ever so slight, but in the end, not called. Schuller took matters into her own hands. Again, a giveaway at the back. Fortunately for Louisville, takes a bounce to another white jersey, Malay. Now Matthews. Kumagai only gets it as far as Malay. Now it's back for Betos. It's been 2.5 years now, nearly, since Michelle Betos ruptured her Achilles in 2019 with OL Reign. She looks back and better than ever. Katie McClure cycling there on the touchline. Haven't seen her get involved much. She earned the start today after scoring the clinching penalty on Wednesday night. Pro Louisville crowd, of course, unhappy with that. They thought that was last off of Glass. Magul opens up for Kumagai, who we haven't really seen start taking steps forward the way we did on Wednesday. More of a true left back role today so far.
More of a true left back role, but when she does take those steps up and gets involved in the offense, it can be very difficult to deal with. Another
Shaky back pass. Jakobsen almost had it. Betos clears it. Betos seems like she was calling for it to be played out as if she was injured. Hobbles back to the goal. Play stops anyway naturally with an offside at the other end. Betos still trying to shake it off.
couple of dangerous defensive plays in recent minutes by the Racing Louisville squad. This one here, a pass back to the goalkeeper, Betos. I mean, she can't pick that up. She has to clear it. And with a Bayern Munich player running full steam ahead in Jakobsen, I mean, that's a goal if she doesn't go play her whole entire body into that. Well, good toughness by Betos.
They get some extended break here with a hydration break for Betos to gather herself and for Christy Holly to maybe talk things over after the way the last few minutes have gone with those near giveaways at the back as we tick up to the half-hour mark here in the Women's Cup final. Bayern Munich has had the better of the chances, but still nothing really too dangerous.
Yeah, they have gotten quite a few corner kicks. Here, a cheeky little play, sends two out, chips it in. Great clearance there. And then again, dribbling end line, cuts it back. Good clearance by Otto. And then in the 11th minute, I mean, they are one after the other, kicks it into the wall, goes end line, cuts it back, nice little touch. Goes back post, but Racing Louisville gets ahead on it to clear it out.
It's been a lot of that. Dangerous balls in from the likes of Simone, a couple from Veninger, and Jakobsen going forward as well. Magul getting in there, but nobody's been able to get on the end of them. It's good group defending so far by Louisville.
Yeah, good group defending, rather, getting heads on the ball, just getting a touch to knock it away. But if Bayern Munich keeps sending these dangerous balls in the box, you have to think eventually one is going to go their way. So Racing Louisville really needs to clean it up on the defensive end, especially on those simple plays when they have time. Their legs are tired, but they've got to put enough strength behind those passes, make sure that when they're getting out of the back that they're playing smart and that they're playing safe. You don't want to give up an easy goal in the championship match.
Absolutely not. On the other end, you saw Amina Ekic in the huddle for Racing Louisville. She brings a confidence to her. Hasn't been a regular starter, just 2 starts, 10 appearances. But before she came into that game to get them their first win with the goal and the assist, she went over to Christy Holly and said, "Are you ready to see a light show?" Because Louisville, when they score on their home field, they start playing the lights, purple, black, and flashing them all around. She delivered on the promise. She delivered 2 light shows as she had the goal and the assist in that game for the number 5 overall pick in this past year's draft.
You love to see the confidence by a young player like Ekic, and how great is that every time you score a goal, you get your own light show. That's not too bad.
They got a 3rd one that night as well when the final whistle blew, and they had their first ever victory as the crowd went wild at Lynn Family Stadium.
And that is something that Racing Louisville needs to do today. Use that home field to your advantage. They have a good crowd in attendance. Let that crowd get behind you. Have a player step up, make a play that is going to ignite some of that energy in the crowd.
And that crowd helped provide a touching moment on Wednesday for Christy Holly. He let us in on the story. All 4 teams involved in this tournament went to the Muhammad Ali Center overlooking the Ohio River on Thursday night. And there were some fans there. A fan went up to Christy Holly and said, "I brought my 6-year-old niece to the game on Wednesday night against Chicago Red Stars." The next morning, when the niece woke up, went over to the uncle and said, "I want to be CC Kaiser when I grow up." To which Christy Holly was just stunned. Jaw hit the floor. That was, he called it one of the most special moments he's ever had as a coach. Worth its weight in gold was the phrase he used. More rewarding than anything he's been able to do. To be a part of this in a new location for women's pro soccer, to have that sort of inspiration. There's 6-year-old girls who want to grow up to be CC Kaiser, who he's coaching. Doesn't get better than that for Christy Holly.
There is no higher praise than being able to start something new in a city and get fans, especially the young ones, behind you and excited about the product you're putting on the field. And then you see these young players, you know, grow some attachments to some of the regulars they see, like a CC Kaiser, and Kaiser has to make her feel pretty good.
Could see CC Kaiser later on at some point. Sun glaring in on Michelle Betos as she shields the eyes and gets ready to send the goal kick back into play. Berenstein takes it. Space for the Dutch international. Cuts it outside. Simone lines up the shot. Takes 2 deflections. Betos makes the stop. That changed directions twice on the way in, and Betos still kept it out.
What a save there by Betos. Huge moment. Great buildup by Bayern Munich to send that ball into the box. Schuler tried to get a foot on it, but in the end, Betos on her game.
Glass plays it down the wing. Jakobsen there, and knocked out by Aaron Simon.
Here's Berenstein. She dishes it out wide to Simone. Simone fires it in. Schuler is there, but so is Betos.
Schuler got the last touch to it. It looked to be Miramontes who got the first deflection. Tremendous stop by Betos, dealing with not one but two deflections on the way in. Might have to deal with something again. Magul earns a corner for Bayern. Battling the sun, no less. Betos on that end as well right now.
Wow. And these corner kicks, defending them, no easy task, especially with the sun in your eyes. Nice little move there by Jakobsen. Kicks it back with the heel, but they're finding a ton of success on that end line and getting corners as a result.
Simone puts a lot on this one. Matthews, the first head to it. Falls out for the volley, struck well, just wide. Chance was there for Sarah Zadrazil.
Corner kick comes in. Far post where they've sent it every time. Racing Louisville is able to clear the ball, lands at the feet. What a strike that was. To be able to keep your head over the ball. Great strike by Zadrazil to get that on frame.
Zadrazil played every single game last season for Bayern. They're happy to have her back in the mix again as a fixture.
Matthews doesn't like that call. Potentially tripped over the ball there, but nonetheless, refs want to keep this one friendly.
Magul. Williams' daughter taken down. And Williams' daughter still slow to get up. Top of the area. The 20-year-old from Iceland, Carolina Lea Williams' daughter. Signed in the middle of last season in January. Made 6 appearances in the second half of the season.
Williams' daughter with the ball. But Katie McClure comes in, defends it. You know what, these are just some of the encounters that happen throughout a soccer game, is the contact, and sometimes it just hits you wrong.
Glass back to Venninger. Knotted down and clear of danger. Didn't seem like it would be clear of danger initially, but it just slowly rolled away from all the bodies.
Yeah, very lucky there to head the ball and clear it right across the middle. Very lucky that there weren't any Bayern players right there.
Glass. Played through. Williams' daughter, save again by Betos. Schuler is hurt from the challenge. Brooke Hendricks is given a yellow card for the challenge atop the box on Schuler. Advantage was played. The shot was hit, and Betos kept it out. Right there, the yellow card on Hendricks.
Yeah, coming in, cleats up. That's going to be a yellow card. But does her best to try to stop the shot, so.
Save tally rising now for Betos. I mentioned earlier she averages over 5 per game in her 14 starts this NWSL season. Third time they've taken this corner short now. First 2 times it turned into some danger. Simone cleared away by Hendricks.
Racing Louisville sending 2 players out there now to try to not let them get some rhythm there in the corner.
Williams' daughter to Jakobsen, overlap coming from Glass. Not enough on it. Malcolm cleared, contact there, free kick for Bayern.
When Jakobsen sees that lane, she goes at it full speed, and she saw that lane between the 2 Racing Louisville defenders and gets the foul out of it. Another dangerous set piece coming up for Bayern Munich.
She's been very difficult to deal with today.
Yep, you see it right here. Sees that lane, slips the ball through, and the Racing Louisville bodies get in the way.
Factoring in club and country, 135 goals for Jakobsen. That's in nearly 400 games. Sent to the back post, it's just wide. Free header was there for Venninger.
Venninger wants that one again. Perfect ball placed, gets her head on it, but just doesn't get it down.
Activity picking up around the Louisville goal.
The ball sent in by Simone, back post. Venninger, again, gets her head on it, just over the net.
Ball attached to Magul's foot as she sends 2 would-be defenders flying by. Glass. Jakobsen gives it away, fighting to win it back, and she does. Jakobsen. Otto gets in the way of it. And it's a foul against Jakobsen. Otto is really showcasing herself here in this one.
She is. She's making a great impression in this first half. And again, once that chemistry starts to build around her, I think Racing Louisville has a great player and quarterback in Otto, being able to get that ball, have a presence in the midfield, and really distribute it.
Number 11 pick in this past draft. 2 appearances, 15 minutes as a sub in the regular season. Career at North Carolina that saw her 4 times receive all ACC honors. 79 starts, 11 goals, 12 assists. She was one of the players Christy Holly highlighted is getting an opportunity today. She's running with it so far. Simone inside. Williams' daughter was waiting for it. Nearly Martin didn't let it get there. Back out for Simone. Secondary ball in. Jakobsen. Betos. Tripped up by someone. I believe it was Jakobsen. Betos taking a beating now. A couple of times she's ended up on the ground.
Betos is showing some serious toughness all throughout this match. Not only has she had to endure the challenges of having the sun in her eyes, she's had to lay her body out there the first time with the mistake on the pass back, and then right there coming out for the ball, ends up on the ground, but body is taking some hits just in the first half. We still got another half to go. This ball sent in by Simone, back post. Jakobsen gets a head on it. Betos comes out, just trying to get anything on it that she possibly can, but ends up taking some hits as a result. But you know what, as a goalkeeper, last line of defense, that's what you got to do.
Can hear the fan support for Betos as she gets up to the feet. As I mentioned earlier, this crowd already loves her for what she's been able to do in just 14 games for Racing Louisville. Venninger struggled the first time to clear, gets it back to Kumagai the second time. Japanese international opens up for Laura Benkart. At this point, you wonder if Benkart had to buy a ticket today because she has not had anything to do on the back end. More of a spectator than anything else. And Bayern would like to keep it that way.
Bayern certainly with no shortage of opportunities in the first half, but here's Racing Louisville with maybe one.
Malay pushes it past McClure. 3 minutes of added time here in half number 1. A half largely controlled by Bayern Munich. But Michelle Betos, a couple of big stops, keeps it 0-0 for the time being.
Betos has kept Racing Louisville in this game. Bayern Munich controlling much of the first half and spending a lot of time right here in this final third.
Jakobsen across. Martin gets rid of it. Back to Jakobsen. Contact in the box, waved off by Natalie Simon.
Such a resilient effort by Jakobsen. Even sometimes when she stumbles or comes in to a defender, she keeps going. She doesn't stop, and she just looks to win the ball back, and oftentimes that results in another offensive opportunity.
Matthews left on the ground behind the play. 7th pick in the 2016 draft, Shayna Matthews by Washington Spirit. Was there from 2016 to 2020. Missed 18 and 20 on maternity leave, but in those 3 seasons, 55 appearances, 33 starts, and 11 goals. Positive output from the former Vanderbilt and Florida State player.
National champion at Florida State.
A lot of those in the ACC overall. The longer this game goes for Christy Holly at 0-0, better he's probably got to feel. You don't obviously love to, say, play for penalties in a game like this, but for the NWSL teams involved, Chicago Red Stars Racing Louisville, Rory Dames for Chicago and Christy Holly for Louisville talked about how important this is as experience in elimination games as we get closer and closer to the playoffs in NWSL. Got to do what you got to do to get a result, whether it's 90 minutes, extra time, penalties. As long as you come away celebrating, you got the job done. Berenstein strikes it.
Yeah, as Holly mentioned, continuing to build the depth on this team. This is certainly a game that's going to help do that. So if you can get into halftime tied at 0, it certainly gives this group a ton of hope going into the second half, especially with how much time they've spent defending. The defense has been extremely resilient. A couple of questionable decisions that they might want to have back, but overall as a group, they've really fought in this first half to keep it tied at 0.
And of course, we touched on it early on, 8 different players in the starting lineup. That means there's a heck of a lot of firepower on the bench as we approach the hour mark. If Christy Holly wants to turn this game in his favor offensively.
That trophy could look pretty nice in the cases at this brand new stadium, just saying.
Halftime whistle coming any second now from Natalie Simon. 3 were given, 3 have been played. Bayern trying to push forward for one last chance. Still no halftime whistle. A half controlled by Bayern. Some big saves from Michelle Betos. Opportunities were there for Sophia Jakobsen. Caroline Simone for Bayern. Chances created, but chances not finished. And there is the halftime whistle at Lynn Family Stadium. 0-0 between Racing Louisville and Bayern Munich through 45.
Bayern Munich controlling much of this first half, getting opportunity after opportunity. But if you don't put the ball in the back of the net, and it's tied 0-0 at half, going into the second half, it's anyone's game.
Couldn't ask for a better situation for the Dramatics as we head into the second half. Louisville, the expansion team, a chance for their first ever trophy. Bayern Munich playing in the United States for the first ever time in the inaugural edition of the Women's Cup. Fans are happy. Bernie's happy for Bayern Munich, the mascot. We're 0-0 through 45. Stay with us down the stretch. Things could get intense here in the final of the Women's Cup. Back in a moment on CBS Sports.
Up here, success depends on the choices you make. But I know I've got this. And when it comes to controlling his type 2 diabetes, my dad's got this too.
With the right choices, you have it in you to control your A1C, and once-weekly Trulicity may help. Most people taking Trulicity reached an A1C under 7%, and it starts lowering blood sugar from the first dose by helping your body release the insulin it's already making. Trulicity is for type 2 diabetes. It isn't for people with type 1 diabetes. It's not approved for use in children. Don't take Trulicity if you're allergic to it. You or your family have medullary thyroid cancer or have multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2. Stop Trulicity and call your doctor right away if you have an allergic reaction, a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, changes in vision, or diabetic retinopathy. Serious side effects may include pancreatitis. Taking Trulicity with sulfonylurea or insulin raises low blood sugar risk. Side effects include nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea, which can lead to dehydration and may worsen kidney problems. Show your world what's truly inside. Ask your doctor about once-weekly Trulicity.
Did you know gravity and relativity were discovered by people working from home? Do you know what I discovered? Kale. Curly, dinosaur, red Russian, ornamental. Instacart opened my world to all kinds of discoveries. I discovered organic, wild-caught, vegan lip gloss. I discovered this, that, these, and I'm just getting started.
Instacart. More stores, more to discover. Visit instacart.com or download the app to get free delivery on your first order.
Are you ready to meet the new friends of Paw Patrol?
I need
Kim Kardashian West.
I can't even.
With Tyler Perry.
a dog.
Actually, I'm a puppy.
And Jimmy Kimmel.
That's my hair.
I am never taking this off.
Paw Patrol the movie, rated G. In theaters and on Paramount Plus.
Halfway through the championship match of this inaugural Women's Cup between Bayern Munich and Racing Louisville. And we've had quite the week so far. 2 great games Wednesday, a really tight third-place match. Let's take it all the way back to Wednesday, how Bayern got here in their win on penalties against PSG.
Great ball in by Baltimore to the back post to Katoto, puts PSG up 1-0.
We'll see more from Katoto a little bit later on because of today's third-place match. Bayern, they really started to showcase their talents late in that first half.
Great build-up, and Dahlman able to slip it in right past the goalkeeper to tie this one up.
Fortunate bounce for Bayern off the crossbar and right there to head it home. Not an easy one with the contest there from Dudek, but Schuller heads it home.
Ball comes off the post, and Schuller's right there to clean it up.
Not to be done yet. Hamraoui on the corner from Baltimore. 2 assists for the 21-year-old.
Baltimore, a great day with 2 assists to tie this one up 2-2.
Goes to penalties. Don't love to see penalties. You love to see it decided in 90, but always excited for the fans. Bayern advances. There would be penalties in this one as well. 10th minute, Ebony Salmon gets Racing Louisville going.
She does, and she was ready to jump on that ball, steals it from the defender, looks up at the goalkeeper, slips it right past her on the ground. Tough to get.
Remember, this one was looking good in 2 ways for Louisville, of course, in the Women's Cup, but also NWSL regular season. But after they were given a gift early, they give the gift right back in the second half.
Yeah, the script kind of flipped for Chicago in this half. Ton of shots on goal. Kealia Watt able to put this one away to tie it at 1, sends us to PKs.
Goes to PKs. Same PK score in the end of 5-4. McClure buries it. That sets up Louisville into the match we are in the middle of right now between Bayern and Louisville. Go to today's match that already happened, the third-place match. PSG following up their Wednesday defeat on penalties with a win in the third-place match.
Diani with the ball at her feet, lays it back to De Almeida into Katoto. She brings it down from her chest. An excellent finish, great poise in front of the net. That's not easy to do. Collect the ball, turn, fires it into the side netting.
It was a rough preseason to that point for PSG. 2 losses, a draw that turned into a loss on penalties against Bayern. They wanted to build some momentum going into next week's start of the regular season. They get the win, but it wasn't easy in the end. Mallory Pugh made things very difficult late on.
Chicago was fighting up until the final minutes. Aaron Wright, a late substitution into the game, along with Mallory Pugh. They are battling here in the box, but the PSG defense comes up clutch.
You wonder how that game might have gone had they started, but understandable for Rory Dames. Has to manage the minutes of those 3. Great stop in the end to preserve the victory for PSG, and they win the 3rd place match in the Women's Cup. We've got 45 more minutes to decide who will be the champion of the inaugural Women's Cup. Back for half number 2 in a moment between Bayern and Racing Louisville.
Introducing Grove's line of plastic-free home cleaning products designed to help solve the single-use plastic problem. With 100% natural scents, glass spray bottles, and a cleaner for every surface, our concentrate cleaning system is reusable, recyclable, and infinitely clean. For a better, brighter future. Let's move beyond plastic. Choose your free starter set today.
I literally Googled best online life insurance. Ladder Life Insurance popped up.
Got an estimate and I was like, wait, what?
It's like a third of my household's cell phone bill.
Congratulations, you have life insurance.
Get your peace of mind right there and then.
Here's how Ladder works. Answer a few quick questions and get your personalized quote. If you're eligible, we'll cover you with the tap of a button. It's that easy. Come see for yourself why customers love Ladder. $1 million policies available for just $27 a month. Check your price now at ladderlife.com.
Allbirds worships the ground you run on. That's why we're focused on materials that wick sweat, dry quick, breathe easy, and fit great the natural way.
Back here at Lynn Family Stadium, 0-0 between Bayern Munich and Racing Louisville in the final of the inaugural Women's Cup. With Haley out, and I'm Joe Malfa. We take a look at highlights from half number 1. It's very one-sided. All the highlights you'll see are offensive for Bayern and saves for Michelle Betos.
Exactly. Magul here with the cross in off of one of many corners that Bayern Munich would get in the first half. They were very dangerous going end line, getting those shots across the box, but they have yet to put one in the back of the net. 7 corners in all, a couple of free kicks as well. The back line, though, for Louisville, holding strong, clearing away a lot of balls before they get to Betos just like that. And when it's gotten through, Betos has made a couple of big stops already. Betos has been the star of this game for Racing Louisville. She has kept it in it. She is the reason why it is still tied 0-0. She has put her body on the line, and she has been extremely aggressive coming off her line.
And the save she made, battling a couple of deflections, battling the sun here. That was the highlight of the first half.
Berenstein dishes it out to Simone. Very dangerous shot. Again, great save by Betos. Her ability to react to that deflection off of Schuler, incredible.
The stats, as I mentioned, it's in Bayern's favor. 7 shots, 2 on goal, 7 corners. The only thing that's even is the fouls and the score, but the most important thing is the score.
If you're Bayern, you're extremely happy that you're creating opportunities and getting those looks at the net. But if you're Racing Louisville and you have 0 shots on goal and it is tied at 0 going into the second half, you have to see a great opportunity there.
A trophy on the line, a chance for Bayern to win a second preseason trophy following up their French Cup victory. A chance for Louisville to win the franchise's first ever trophy. 45 down, 45 to go. Should be a fun second half here from Lynn Family Stadium. Back in a moment with Kick.
Backcountry, this is Hannah.
Hey, how breathable are the tanks and teas Backcountry makes?
I mean, I bet you could do anything in them.
From tanks and shirts to pants, we use movement-friendly fabrics so you're shreddy for anything.
You still there? Yeah, I just put these styles to the test, and between you and me, I smell like a friggin' peach.
Millions of students and families are learning a language with Duolingo this back-to-school season. With over 100 courses in 40 languages, including Spanish, French, German, and even High Valerian, there's a course for everyone. Duolingo is free, fun, and designed to keep you motivated. Learn through bite-sized lessons and an AI experience made unique for you. With a gamified approach and Duo your sidekick Hi Pal, you'll keep learning until you reach your goals. Download Duolingo and start learning a language with the world's #1 education app.
So, if you have a flat tyre, dead battery, need a tow or lock your keys in the car, Geico's emergency roadside assistance is there 24/7.
Someone help me! I have a flat tyre!
Oh, it's good for me. What do you think?
Geico.
In ways big and small, the world has changed, but our commitment to getting you safely out in it, that never will.
Teams making their way back out to begin half number 2. One change to get to you from Racing Louisville. Freya Olofsson, the 23-year-old Swedish Discovery player, will enter the match, and Shayna Matthews will exit. We saw Shayna Matthews tended to at the end of that first half. Hope everything's all right, and it's nothing too serious with any sort of injury. But Freya Olofsson now enters in the midfield.
Yeah, you have to think with how Christy Hawley's approaching this game in terms of getting players minutes, helping preserve some of the players that have put in a lot of time, especially this week. Probably just a precaution to keep Matthews out. No sense in making her go this second half if she's not feeling 100% potentially.
Well, looks like we're getting ready for a handful of changes as well for Bayern that have not yet officially been announced. 3 players trotting out there now. Clara Buell enters the match. Sydney Lohman enters the match. And Linda Dahlman, the trio of players for Bayern Munich. Underway in half number 2 of the final in the inaugural edition of the Women's Cup. Bayern from right to left in the red. Louisville in the white from left to right.
For the inaugural Women's Cup to be heading in to the second half with a tied game between Racing Louisville and Bayern Munich. It's setting up to be an exciting finish, whether it's in regulation or in PKs, but we could potentially get a game here that comes down to the wire. Victor taking home the first ever trophy.
Would be the first trophy ever, period, for Racing Louisville in their expansion season. They have their sights set on bigger things as well in NWSL. A reminder there, Olofsson in, Matthews out, the one change for Louisville. Dahlman's first involvement in the number 10 kit for Bayern. Gives it away, commits the foul. Kelly, what would you like to see done differently in the second half from Racing Louisville to help alleviate some of that pressure against 7 shots to none in favor of Bayern?
Yeah, I think the biggest challenge for Racing Louisville is when they get the ball and they're connecting out of the back. Can they keep it? Can they get numbers forward? They're working so hard defensively. They're defending together. They're applying a ton of pressure. But when they get forward, can they have the legs to get up as a team to keep it up there? And it tends to happen with tired legs, especially when you're working as hard defensively as Racing Louisville has been in the first half. But you get numbers up, taking the ball up the field, you're looking around, you're like, where is everybody? And a lot of times when you switch to the offensive side, players can maybe use that as a time to rest. But in this case, if you want to win this game, you got to fight through that.
Linda Dahlman in the midfield. That is one of the bedrock players for Bayern Munich. 43 appearances over the last 2 seasons since joining the club. 35 caps for Germany as well for the 26-year-old. Sydney Lohman also checking in, one of the bright young stars. Has spent her whole pro career so far with Bayern Munich going back to 2016. 18 goals and 70 appearances for number 12 right there pressuring. And that pressure helps win it back for Bayern. Berenstein, run coming from Simone. Berenstein lines it up herself. Back for Betos. Out for Simone, great find by Lohman. Blocked down again by Miramontes. How many times have we seen that? Ball sent in from Bayern, not getting past the first Louisville defender.
They have been a resilient group throughout this entire match, that is for sure.
Eight days until Bayern begins their title defense. It's against Werder Bremen on the 29th. 20 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss last season. Inside, chance here, far post in. Bayern opens the scoring 4 minutes in to the second half. Michel Betos beaten. Goal was scored by Clara Buell. One of the changes made at the half, already paying dividends for Bayern Munich.
Dahlmann plays that ball into Clara Buell. She's able to slide it past Betos on the ground. Puts a lot of power on it. Great shot, great technique, great form. And it wasn't the easiest look that Bayern has had this whole match, but it's the one that has counted.
3 changes at the half. Dahlmann, Lohman, Buell. And one of those already gets Bayern on the board. That may force Louisville to open up a bit. Buell heading into her second season with Bayern. 8 goals in 19 games last year for the 20-year-old. You can see why Bayern's excited. Lohman and Buell atop the formation, 21 and 20. 2 young stars. 17 caps, 7 goals for Buell with Germany as well.
Buell, watching from the sideline in that first half, had to probably be thinking, just put me in the game so I could finish one of these.
Here she is again. This one blocked.
This is where Louisville needs to focus on getting numbers forward so that there's support, so they can keep it, not be right back on their heels defending again.
Bayern won their 2 preseason matches in the French Cup. A combined 6-2. Flag goes up on McClure. They advance on penalties against PSG. Now here they are ahead of Louisville. A chance to finish preseason. 3 wins, a draw, and 2 trophies lifted for Bayern Munich.
Racing Louisville trying to work together here to not let Bayern out of the back easily, shifting as a unit, trying to not let them switch the field to begin that attack.
Kumagai under pressure. It's back for Benkart. We're still yet to see a shot in this one. Among the goals from Christy Holly in this game, besides, of course, lifting the trophy and going toe-to-toe with the European giant, he wanted to make sure that his team never backed down, and he wanted to see how they handled adversity. It was going to be the biggest crowd a lot of these players played up in front of. It's going to be the biggest, best starting 11 they've played against, and an opportunity to win some hardware. How would they respond? Now some more adversity to be tested against here, going down a goal, powering through. Balcom, a chance. Balcom finishes! 1-1 at Lynn Family Stadium. They handle adversity pretty well so far.
And that is the response that you can only hope for as a head coach. 0-0 at half. You come into the second half, you get scored on, but this group has been resilient all match long. And to see Balcom get that ball, use her body, fight off that last defender, and take it all the way home is pretty sweet. Right here, Balcom chasing it down against Saki Kumagai, sees the keeper, places it just to the right. Excellent technique, keeping this ball low, not panicking. She sees the back of the net and she puts it right there. That is their first shot on goal, and she capitalized.
And a chat with Christy Holly as well. 5 appearances, 1 start this season. I think while she's over there to Christy Holly, she might say, hey, start me next week, coach, as well. Maybe earning that. And it had to be Balcom. Spent last season in the Bundesliga with MSV Duisburg. Now doing it against Bayern on American soil.
With these tired legs, it is amazing how much a goal can give you a little bit extra energy that you maybe didn't have before.
Certainly provided a jolt for the fans here in Louisville. So 10 minutes into this second half, we're right back where we started the half, all tied up. Just 1s instead of 0s now. Tries the nifty turn. Wins it back. Some more movement on the ball as well from Louisville. To your point, Haley, about a shot of energy after scoring that goal. Switch of players on the back end for Louisville. Erin Simon out and Gemma Bonner in.
Erin Simon has certainly had her work cut out for her in this game. A resilient first half. Now maybe a little rest.
Gemma Bonner spent the last few years playing in England, a year with Chelsea, 6 with Liverpool, and 3 with Manchester City before making her way over to Racing Louisville. Good ball into Berenstein. Tracking back Miramontes. Still Berenstein. Berenstein across. Out for a corner.
And that has looked very similar to the offensive attack we've seen from Bayern Munich all game. Get end line, cut it back. Racing Louisville defense standing strong. Out for a corner.
Again, they go short, as they have a few times already. Simone on the ground, pinballs through, out for another corner. Malcolm tried to clear it. Pinged it off of Olofsson. Shouts for handball briefly from Bayern as it was blocked down by Malcolm. Curled into the backside. Kumagai. And away by Hendricks. Still alive on the deflection. End line for Boole. Goal kick. Boole, a couple of opportunities to get a shot off in there.
A lot of chaos in the box. And when there's chaos, things happen.
Benninger. Kumagai. I wonder if at some point Bayern pushes Kumagai further up the field, unlocks their offensive potential a little bit. What we saw on Wednesday night, had the assist on the first goal scored by Bayern in that match. Had 29 goals in 152 appearances with Lyon before coming over to Bayern Munich. Here is Kumagai. 118 caps, silver medalist, World Cup champion with Japan. Schuler, Berenstein, cutting in, Berenstein, cutting, shooting, saved by Betos. Michel Betos continues to bail out Louisville on the back end. The fans love it.
Betos has been unstoppable this game.
Benninger, chested down, Schuler. Acrobatic attempts. Louisville was clamoring for the ball to be played out. Now that Betos has it, she'll stop it. I believe it was Brooke Hendricks behind the play who was struggling to continue.
Here's Berenstein, cuts it inside, keeps going across, looking for that window, gets it back across her body and on frame. Great power, but right at Betos, and Betos is able to get her hands on it and push it away.
An hour gone at Lynn Family Stadium. It is Hendricks down. 2015 goalkeeper of the year, Michel Betos, also best 11 that year. Her best stats actually came in 2016 when she was with Portland and they won the NWSL Shield. Went away from the U.S. for a bit, spent 2017 in Norway before returning to OL Reign in 2018. 5 games into the 2019 season, ruptured Achilles, cost her some time. Now Betos has found her way to Louisville. Averaging over 5 saves per game this season with 4 clean sheets.
This Racing Louisville defense has been working tremendously hard as a unit throughout this game, continuing to get their bodies in front of shots, heading it away, getting deflections. Betos certainly playing her part and a bit more. But the defense together working very hard, and a few times clearances maybe not getting out quite as far as they want, or some miscues on passes, but overall, I think as a collective unit, Betos, it's probably like, you guys have my back, I've got yours.
Unfortunately, it looked like the trainer gave the signal for a substitution over to Christy Holly. He's looking up and down the bench now to see what his options are. 1 change has been made already. Pardon me, 2. Freya Olofsson entered the match at the half for Shanna Matthews. Gemma Bonner has come in for Erin Simon. Teams allowed 6 changes, 3 windows. Halftime does not count as a window. So that Olofsson sub a freebie for Louisville. Bailed out in the end. This crowd was waiting for something to breathe it to life after a first half dominated by Bayern Munich. They didn't get it early in the second half. Right out of the gates, Bayern goes up 1-0. But a few moments later, Jorian Balcom gives them something to get loud about. 1-1, 63 minutes in. Schuler, Betos fumbles it, gathers it in the end.
Great stop by Betos. Had that ball from Schuler, continued past Betos. Berenstein was right there, wide open, ready to put that in the back of the net.
Inaugural Women's Cup trophy on the line. With Haley Outen, I'm Joe Malfa here from Lynn Family Stadium in Louisville, Kentucky on CBS Sports. Thanks for tuning in this evening. First ever matchup against an international opponent for Louisville. First ever trip to the United States for Bayern Munich. Both advanced here in penalty shootouts on Wednesday. Flag goes up on Berenstein. And we're 25 minutes away from that possibly being in the cards again between Louisville and Bayern here with a trophy on the line. Maxi Rawl will enter the match. Or Hannah Glass for Bayern Munich. Like-for-like substitution on that back line. Berenstein out as well. And for Berenstein, it is Asai checking in. The only French player on the roster, Vivian Asai for Bayern Munich. Pressure from Bayern. Otto trying to play out of it. She'll just clear it. Sometimes that's just the best option. McClure bailed her out as well, getting it further up to midfield. Late foul call against Bayern. Otto hobbling a little bit. Selfishly, Christy Holly was excited for this tournament because it gives him a chance to have a challenge against a team like Bayern Munich that he called a very interesting Rubik's Cube to solve. But then for his players, furthermore, a great reward for their dedication. Not easy going to an expansion team, but these players have invested in the team. And this is a good chance to show how invested the team is into the players, providing them with these world-class opportunities to go up against a team like Bayern Munich. And the players are responding in kind, battling here in this second half. Go down a goal, tie it up. Under a half hour remaining. All smiles on the bench right now for Louisville.
Third game this week for Racing Louisville. And the resilience that they've shown, their fight to come back after getting scored on right in the beginning of the second half. I think that Christy Holly is already learning a lot about this group. He hoped that they would take away lessons and gain experience, build chemistry. All he hoped for in this game was growth and potentially a win as well. But I think he's seeing that and he's learning about this group as this game goes on.
And we're going to see some big changes, it seems. Savannah McCaskill is entering the match. She'll be checking in very shortly. Yuki Nagasato getting set as well.
We've got the goalkeeper down there. They can't play with that. They're ready to go.
Kaylee Reel, Yuki Nagasato, Savannah McCaskill. Michelle Betos is actually down as well. Michelle Betos does not look herself as she's helped over to the sideline. See Christy Holly trying to figure out what changes to make. Katie Lund is ready to check in, it seems.
Good to see Betos being able to walk off of that field on her own with some assistance from the trainer. Looks like she's been shaken up a bit. Great performance by Betos today. She has been a superstar for this Racing Louisville team. Kudos to her.
Concern now is her health leaves to a standing ovation from the crowd. Katie Lund seeing her first minutes then for Louisville. We're working something out in terms of the amount of substitutions allowed. From what we could gather, it said they were only allowing 6 subs, to which Christy Holly asked, "Are you not allowing concussion subs?" as Betos was coming off. So discussion going on around whether or not a 7th change can be used because of a concussion sub. Now, for those who may not know, that is something new this year in the United States and some other leagues around the world, where teams get an additional change, up to 2 additional changes, that is, if a player needs to come off due to a concussion. Seems like the issue has been resolved, and all of the changes are ready to take place for Louisville. The first official one, Katie Lund in, Michelle Betos out. Obviously wish all the best to Michelle Betos as she left with the injury. Taylor Otto's day is done, as is Katie McClure's. And Brooke Hendricks with Yuki Nagasato, Kaylee Reel, and Savannah McCaskill checking in. McCaskill will check into the midfield for Otto. Reel onto the back line for Hendricks. And Nagasato onto the left flank for Katie McClure. That should do it now for the subs then for Racing Louisville. Still 1 remaining for Bayern Munich. And they appear to be making it right now. Caroline Simone, who has really made life difficult for Louisville in this game, exits the match for Julia Gwynn. So 6 sets of fresh legs aside and a new goalkeeper for Racing Louisville. That takes care of the subs for this one. Just over 20 minutes remaining when you factor in stoppage time, you imagine. Title on the line here in the inaugural Women's Cup. 1 for Louisville, 1 for Bayern. Malcolm has that goal for Louisville. She chases here. Just kept in by Benkart. Reel. On the run, Ekic. All the way back for Benkart. Played by Julia Gwynn, her first touch into the match. Saki Kumagai out for Julia Gwynn. Ekic tracking back. This is potentially Savannah McCaskill's moment here down the stretch for Louisville. Great challenge put in, won by Miramontes. Now it's Nagasato up for Balcom. Waiting for some help Jorian Balcom already with a goal to her name. Not enough to split the two defenders in the end.
Beckham likes to get the ball to her feet, and when she looks up and isn't seeing her teammates around, she didn't have that help. She was trying to delay. A couple numbers got forward, but too much time.
Kaylee O'Reilly sends Clara Bull back the other way. McCaskill got that armband when she came in from Betos. Christy Holly could not possibly speak any higher of Savannah McCaskill than he did when we chatted this week. More on that in a second. Asai pressures to the end line. Too heavy touch. Out for a goal kick. Christy Holly said he had a really big heart-to-heart with Savannah McCaskill early in the season. A player who was able to play anywhere on the field, mostly in an attacking role in the past. They had those honest, tough conversations about what her role would be because he felt he just needed her on the ball as much as possible. She was ready for the challenge. She embraced it. And he told her, look, you're 24 years old. This is a new club here. The fans already love you. You have a chance to be the heartbeat of this club, of this team, of this city for the next decade. It's a challenge McCaskill has embraced. After the Wednesday night game, she didn't feel she had the best game against Chicago. She texted Christy Holly, don't let me slip up. She is prodding her coach to stay tough on her. She is so driven and has performed so well already this season. Commits the foul here in the middle.
That is exactly the type of player that you can only hope you have on your team with that mentality and that mindset and that work ethic. And McCaskill has also put a ton of work into her physical conditioning, which has certainly paid off on the pitch.
Rarely has come off the field this season for Louisville. 6 career appearances for the U.S. women's national team between January of 18 and June of 18. Hasn't appeared since the number 2 overall pick in that 2018 draft. She feels she finally found a home as well in Racing Louisville. She was the number 2 pick of Boston, then taken by Gotham in the dispersal draft after Boston folded, then traded to Chicago middle of 2019, and then traded to Louisville last October ahead of the expansion draft. And now here she is, believes she found the place that is the perfect fit for her. And a corner coming for Louisville. The fans could sense it heading down the stretch here, that something special may be on tonight.
Louisville hasn't had a ton of opportunities tonight, so it will be very important to make the most of this opportunity.
Amina Ekic delivers with the left foot. Put in towards that back post, headed on frame on top of the goal. Chance was there.
Amina Ekic sails this ball in right to her target, heads it back far post. A great header. A little bit lower. It's tough, though. 2 defenders on you to try to get that ball down. Head it back towards the ground. Not easy to do with so many bodies around you.
Gemma Bonner had the chance. That takes us into the hydration break here in the second half. One last chance for both of these coaches to talk some tactics with the team, move some things around, push for that winner. Or penalties may be in the cards to decide the inaugural Women's Cup. Let's take a look back at the goals that got us to this point, 1-1 in this second half. Both coming early in the half, just 5 minutes apart.
Quick start to the second half. The action we have been waiting to see here. Bayern Munich trying to get this ball back. Here it lands at the feet of Dahlman, number 10. She gives the ball to Bull, and Bull coming in off the bench. She is able to get a great touch, is able to put this right on net, keeps it on the ground, right past Betos. Betos has been stopping and blocking shots all game, but this one, too much for Betos.
Through the legs there as well of Brooke Hendricks, you can see from the reverse angle. But 5 minutes later, an opportunity that didn't look like much at first, just hustle and toughness from Jorian Balcom gets the job done.
And you know what? Sometimes that's how it goes. These opportunities are created. Balcom gets the ball 1v1 with her defender, keeps her composure, slots it in right past the keeper, uses her speed, her strength, stays strong here. She knows her squad needs to tie this one up at 1 if they want to keep the trophy in Louisville.
And she got it done. 4 goals in 9 matches last season with Duisburg in the Bundesliga. Signed a 2-year deal in April after a successful preseason trial with Racing Louisville. Jovana Damjanovic enters the match for Bayern. Leah Schuler checking out. My only guess is because they allowed a 7th substitution for Louisville, they allowed Bayern to even it out.
These late substitutions that have been made in these remaining 20 or so minutes, a handful of players we've seen enter the game here late. They've had the chance to observe, watch, learn from the sidelines, and it will be interesting to see if any of those players are the difference from what they've been able to take in throughout the course of this game and maybe say, hey, I'm going to enter this game and I'm going to leave my mark here.
Lohman out for Asai. Asai cuts in, puts it across, and just cleared to safety by Miramontes. Yuki Nagasato loses it. McCaskill. 7 outfield players changed for Bayern, 6 outfield players, plus the goalie changed for Louisville. That's 13 sets of fresh legs for the field players. Don't expect this game to slow down because of fatigue late with all of those changes. And now a corner for Louisville.
Yeah, certainly having those fresh legs come in late in the game should be very helpful for both of these sides to be able to add that spark in these final minutes. Championship, a trophy, and this inaugural Women's Cup on the line. What an exciting opportunity.
Corner for Racing Louisville. Lofted in. Malay. Gets a cross in. Crashing to head it away. Kumagai.
Racing Louisville starting to step up and try to keep the ball in this half. Here with 9 and change to go, they're trying to apply that pressure, not let Bayern Munich out, try to dictate some of the tempo here in these late minutes.
Looks like we are going to see another change for Louisville. Ebony Salmon in, Amina Ekic out.
Seems like a good time to throw in your team-leading goal scorer.
Whatever the discussions were about 20 minutes ago down on the sideline between the officials and the coaches on substitutions, seems like they came to a good resolution because we've got more sets of fresh legs entering the match. And a yellow card here to one of those changes, Savannah McCaskill. Natalie Simon blows the play dead to bring it back. Still was making that yellow card official in the book, had not yet blown the whistle. 10 appearances, 8 starts, 5 goals for Ebony Salmon, including the one on Wednesday night, which you saw during the halftime show. It was a gift, for sure, from Chicago, but she still made sure to finish it in the end. Lobbed in by Bull. Hit from the top of the box, but wide. That was Sarah Zadrazil, who hit a terrific volley, remember, way back early in the first half. That was just wide. That one, not the same contact.
Zadrazil can certainly strike it from far, given the opportunity. She has a very dangerous shot.
So far, ever since Michelle Betos had to check out, Katie Lund hasn't had to make any big stops. The back line has secured itself ahead of the goalkeeper. Seeing her first minutes for Louisville after Betos has played every minute so far of the season. For the couple of players that have left this game due to injury for Louisville, the concern does go back to the regular season. They have a game in the midweek against Kansas City. McCaskill does well to shield that away and prevent the giveaway by Lund. Game in the midweek against Kansas City. Game on the weekend against Houston Dash. And then another midweek game against OL Reign. And this is coming off of a stretch of playing midweek games in the past couple of weeks. Busy schedule for Louisville. Hope the players are healthy. A team that has had some depth issues already. Balcom looked to cut it back, unable to get it past Veninger.
With having so many games jam-packed into this schedule in this couple-week time span.
Played in! Off the crossbar and in! Yuki Nagasato! Could that be a trophy-winning goal and a historic moment for Racing Louisville?
The stadium on their feet in Louisville. What a moment for Nagasato to be able to come up clutch, get on the end of that ball, and put her team up 2-1. Mistake here by Maxi Rahl. Martin fighting to get that ball back. The cross goes in. Nagasato leaves her feet, is able to volley the ball in, gets it on frame. That is one heck of a shot.
That is one of the best goals I have seen in quite some time. Acrobatic finish from Nagasato, the body control, the placement, send up the purple smoke.
We may see that highlight a lot of places tonight before we go to bed.
The veteran for Racing Louisville, 15 seasons as a pro between Japan, Germany, England, before coming to NWSL with the Red Stars since 2017. Traded to Louisville October of 2020. And now possibly giving them their first trophy if they can defend this out the last 10 maybe minutes because of all the stoppages we had. Figure regulation plus stoppage. It's going to be about 10 more minutes for Racing Louisville.
It's going to feel like the longest 10 minutes of their lives this game.
The goals that Christy Holly set forth for this game: deal with adversity, be confident and not afraid of going toe-to-toe with a European giant in Bayern Munich. If they come up with a win along the way, fantastic. But there were other things he wanted to see from his team. He's checked all the boxes, it appears, and he might also check the victory box as well. And what a confidence boost that could be for Louisville heading down the home stretch of the season in 9th place, but only 3 points out of a playoff spot in the NWSL. Icy moment at the back.
Yeah, for Racing Louisville, they haven't had a ton of opportunities this game. 0 shots in the first half. This has all come from the second half. So for their group in these remaining minutes, it's extremely, extremely important. Nothing silly out of the back. When in doubt, clear it out.
Bayern in danger of losing their first game of the preseason. Won the first 2 games in the French Cup against Lyon and Roma. drew on Wednesday against PSG before winning in penalties. This would not be the way they want to end their preseason going into their first regular season match next Sunday. Seemed as if they might be cruising to an unbeaten preseason. And then just 5 minutes after that goal was scored by Bull, you get the response from Balcom. Here we are in the late stages. Yuki Nagasato, the veteran, gets it done and gives Louisville the lead. Don't have the official stats, but I believe those are the only 2 shots on goal from Racing Louisville, and both went in.
That's a pretty good statistic on its own.
That's a 100% conversion rate right there. McCaskill. With the captain's armband. To what we were alluding to earlier, this could be that first signature moment, lifting a trophy for Savannah McCaskill. Lund sends it all the way down. Nearly Balcom able to earn a corner, but just over the line before that. The clock ticks up to 90, but we have 9 more minutes to go of added time officially here at Lynn Family Stadium. Groans from the crowd who thought they were closer to a first trophy for Racing Louisville. We'll have to wait a little bit longer at least.
And 9 minutes really is a lot of time. Racing Louisville is going to have to play extremely smart in these next 9 minutes. Don't sit back too much, but make sure to protect this lead.
Dahlman looking for a side. Foul goes against Bayern. Every foul now they commit in the attacking half especially gives Louisville a chance to kill some time. Sarah Zadrazil was handed a note from the coach. You can see it in the middle of the field. She's looking at it. It's instructions on how to line up and how to maneuver the last 8 minutes of this game. She's got it crumbled up now. But a way to get instructions out onto the field, that's unique. As they try to go ahead and get that equalizing goal. Player down behind the play for Louisville. Bayern continues on.
I'm not sure I've ever seen the passing of notes on a field before.
Julia Gwynn gives it away. It's Balcom on the ground. Hasn't moved since the play went up the field. Keep this in the back of your mind, though, as we tick up to the 9 minutes of added time. If the game does go beyond the 9 minutes, this is why. Balcom had the response for Louisville 5 minutes after the Bayern goal. That came in the 54th minute after Bayern scored in the 49th, courtesy of Clara Bull.
Balcom has played every minute of this game with the heat and the physicality And just the amount of ground Racing Louisville has had to cover against this Bayern Munich team who moves the ball extremely well. You have to imagine at some point players are going to start cramping and it's going to start feeling it. So hopefully Bachum's okay, just get some water, work out that cramp, but certainly not unusual to see in these conditions with the amount of physical effort that's been exuded throughout this match.
Christy Holly looks on, the architect of an expansion squad here in Louisville. Never wanted to use that as a crutch at any point of the season. Knew there'd be growing pains, but knew this team had the talent to maybe turn some heads, maybe surprise some people. Only 3 games out of a playoff spot, and now only a few minutes away from knocking off Bayern Munich, the UEFA Champions League semifinalists and the Bundesliga champions here in the first ever Women's Cup. Dahlman to Boole, cut back, own goal! Disaster for Racing Louisville. It's last off Gemma Bonner. A ball put into a dangerous area. There were red jerseys there, perhaps, if the white jersey didn't knock it in. But Bonner accidentally puts it by Katie Lund. All tied up again at 2-2.
Dahlman plays it out to Clara Bull, who cuts it back across to give her team an opportunity to place this one on net, and instead it is Bonner trying to clear it, and as a defender, that is absolutely heartbreaking to score an own goal, especially at this point in stoppage time in the match.
Louisville's got to be careful not to concede again and let that get them down. We saw it when Bayern scored earlier in the game. You're always most vulnerable the first few minutes after a goal, as you mentioned, Haley. Nagasato towards McCaskill. Penalties back into the equation potentially in a few minutes.
After a goal like that, it's easy to become a little frantic and panic a bit, so Racing Louisville just needs to keep their composure here, continue to play smart, and take the next few minutes as it may. And for Bayern Munich, you're back in this thing.
Boole getting past Bonner, and Bonner makes amends, puts it out for the corner.
And that is a great tackle by Bonner, incredibly disciplined. When Boole has the ball in her feet, she's dangerous. She can pick out players, and especially at that part of the box to cut it back in front of the goal. Great job by Bonner to recover there. Clean tackle in the box. Now defend the corner.
Linda Dahlman to take it. Short to Boole. Back out to Dahlman. Closes down the space. Back for Dahlman. Gets a ball through. Just out of the reach of Zadrazil. Asai. Easy for Lund to deal with. With the injury to Balcom, with the goal, appears we may go past that 9 minutes of stoppage time. So possibly more than just 2 minutes remaining as you look up at the corner of your screen and see the clock. Gemma Bonner, own goal, 90+4. That tied it up. Is there more magic left before the whistle blows? McCaskill. Salmon. Olofsson looking every which way, only seeing red. And it's taken away by Lohman. Asai. Lohman continues to run up the middle. Back out for Asai. McCaskill has it caught between the feet. It's there. Chance for Bayern. Takes a deflection. It fell for Damjanovic. Couldn't catch it cleanly. Gwynn. Dangerous ball in. It was dealt with. Maxi Rawl. Flicked on and cleared away. Louisville now just holding on, hoping for penalties. Everything going Bayern's way with this one-way traffic. Gwynn clips it over the top. It falls for Damjanovic. Flag pops up in the end. Lund skies it to Balcom. Turned into space. There's Salmon, unable to keep it in. Olofsson taken down. Maybe one last chance for Louisville to get a ball forward into the box and hope for the best. 10 minutes of added time have been played. We mentioned it would go over the 9 because of the Balcom injury, because of the goal. McCaskill directing everybody into the box. She knows this is likely the last kick of the ball here in this game. At least last in the confines of the 90 minutes. All the way through. There's the final whistle. It'll be decided on kicks from the mark. And that's how both of these teams got here on Wednesday night. 5-4, they both won their respective shootouts. Benkart will be in goal for Bayern. It'll be Lund in goal for Louisville. Remember, Betos came out with the injury after making a slew of saves early on in this one and into the second half. Louisville battled back after going down in the 49th minute, went up 2-1, and then an own goal, 90+4, when it seemed they were on the precipice of their first ever trophy. The fans will have to wait a little bit longer and see that heart rate go up a little bit more.
Yeah, heartbreaking stoppage time moment, mistake for Louisville that is going to send this one to PKs. But overall, when you look at the entirety of the game, Bayern, the shots on goal, the possession, they certainly controlled most of that throughout the match. So for this game to end in a 2-2 draw, going into penalty kicks for Racing Louisville, I think they're still in a pretty good spot. They still have a chance to claim the cup, as does Bayern Munich, and both of these teams have experience from Wednesday.
We'll be back in just a few moments with the penalty shootout. Bayern Munich Racing Louisville, the inaugural Women's Cup on the line next.
Deep sea driving, I see.
Something like that.
Well, here's something else. With your Farmer's Policy Perk new car replacement, you can get a new one.
That is something else.
Get a whole lot of something with Farmer's Policy Perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Two iconic brands coming together to change the game. Big 3 has a whole new energy, baby.
I've been having stomach troubles. It's either yogurt, pork, or citrus. Or almonds. Or maybe it's cinnamon. Now, I could start by removing a lot of things from my diet and adding them back in one at a time until I find the culprit. Or I could find out what might actually be bothering me before removing and adding foods back in again. I'm gonna do that.
Just about set for penalties from Lynn Family Stadium. With Haley out, and I'm Joe Malfa. Glad to have you with us. Hopefully you stuck with us here through penalties on CBS Sports. Inaugural Women's Cup here in the final. Did you expect anything else, Haley, the way we saw this go on Wednesday with both of these teams advancing from penalties? We have it again. Yuki Nagasato thought she had the winner in regulation. She's the first to step up to take a penalty. Against Laura Benkart. Nagasato, saved by Benkart. Pressure goes on to Louisville now.
Nagasato approaches this ball, picks out of the corner, but the keeper, Laura Benkart, guesses right. Great save.
Now Katie Lund stares down the 21-year-old Sydney Lohman. Lohman beats Lund. 1-0 Bayern.
Lohman approaches, shoots it very high, just underneath the crossbar. Has to make you get a little bit nervous there for a second, but she puts it away. It counts.
Ebony Salmon has been electric ever since she's joined the fold for Racing Louisville. Team high 5 goals in 10 games this season against Benkart. Gets it in there, barely. Benkart guesses the right way, but perfectly placed by Salmon.
I love this penalty kick from Salmon. She picks a corner, but she places this ball hard and on the ground, so even though Benkart guesses right, it's tough to get down there that quickly.
Can Lund come up with a stop? Julia Gwynn. Gwynn off the post and out. We're tied again after 2 rounds.
Gwynn hits the post. Oh my gosh, wow. What a moment there for Racing Louisville to get back into this one. Tied up, each have made 1. Disappointing shot for Gwynn, though. She picked out that right side. She committed to it, pushed it just a touch wide, though. Hits the post, does not deflect in.
Here is McCaskill, hoping for a signature moment in a Racing Louisville uniform. This is her team, says Christy Holly, and there's her moment for now. Louisville goes up.
This PK by McCaskill is one taken with a ton of confidence. She just passes it right where she wants it, to the right side of the keeper. There was no chance Benkart was getting her hands on that.
Hit just about every piece of iron in there, off the post, off the bottom support bar, off the back support bar and out. So well placed from McCaskill. This place is ready to erupt if Lund can come up with a stop, or if Asai just misses it and gives Louisville the lead. Asai places it perfectly. Still tied through 3 rounds, 2-2.
Asai makes this PK look easy, knows where she's going, commits to it, catches Lund. Lund guesses the other way, and she knows it's too late.
Only so much you can do as a goalkeeper. So much of it is guessing the right way. Sinclair Miramontes steps up to the spot. She's made just 1 start this season for Louisville. A chance to shine now in the shootout. Miramontes off the crossbar and over.
Miramontes approaches this ball. Another high PK. Hits the crossbar, misses. It's always a little risky when you go in the air like that.
Linda Dahlman steps up. Entering her 3rd season with Bayern Munich. Dahlman, stopped by Lund. We're tied again, heading into the last frame.
What a save by Katie Lund. She subs into this game in the second half, comes in, makes 1 PK save, and you know what? That is all you need. She keeps her team in this quest for the trophy. Amazing save by Lund.
Jorian Balcom. Her goal made it 1-1 back in the 54th minute. A valiant effort all day long, giving chase to so many balls. 5 appearances, 1 start in the regular season. She's made her case for more time. A chance to further that case here. Balcom off the post. Bayern a chance to win it.
Balcom approaches this ball, hits it to the right of the keeper, hits the post. The post has not been racing Louisville's front in this PK shootout.
Jovana Damjanovic, a chance to win it for Bayern Munich. Damjanovic approaches. Damjanovic, it's stopped by Lund. We're going extra penalties.
Lund is funneling her inner Betos, acting like a wall for this racing Louisville team to come up with back-to-back saves in the penalty kick shootouts of the final match of the Women's Cup. That is huge.
We've had every twist and turn possible. When it seemed like Bayern would take control after going up, Louisville hit back, 2-1 lead. Bayern ties it in stoppage time. Bayern has had multiple leads in the penalty shootout, but now we are into extra kicks. Freya Olofsson steps up. Olofsson finishes. Louisville on the brink of their first trophy.
Olofsson approaches the ball, places it with confidence into that upper right. That is a very nicely taken penalty kick, keeping her team alive.
Saki Kumagai, the veteran, steps to the spot for Bayern Munich. Long run up prepared. Kumagai against Lund and against the thousands, hoping this does not ripple the net. Kumagai, calm, cool, collected. We go to a 7th.
That is a high-pressure situation, no doubt, for Kumagai, and she took that long approach, and she walked right up, and she placed it exactly where she wanted to, did not second-guess herself. Nothing Lund can do there.
Gemma Bonner, the own goal, deflected in off of Bonner. Here's a chance to make up for it and give Louisville a chance once again and put the pressure squarely on Bayern's shoulders. A veteran who spent the better part of the last decade playing in Europe, in England. Bonner, off the crossbar and out.
Tough break for Bonner, striking this ball, hitting the crossbar. You have to wonder what was going through her mind approaching that ball, just with how the stoppage time ended for her. I'm sure she wanted to make that one for her team. Tough break.
Sarah Zadrazil now, a chance again to win it for Bayern. Some mind games from Laura Benko. She went to the other side of the goal. Natalie Simon sends her back to where she's supposed to be. Zadrazil, saved again by Lund.
Lund is about to become the new fan favorite.
Christy Holly mentioned he would have liked to get Lund some minutes today. Didn't intend for it to be a Betos injury. It happened all the same, and she is quickly having her stock rise in the eyes of the fans in this penalty shootout.
What a statement by Lund to be able to come in off the bench in this high-pressure situation in front of the home crowd. She has come up with 3 huge saves that have kept her team alive.
Laura Millay in the 8th round. Millay scores! A chance again for Louisville to win it. Bayern's had 2 chances. Louisville now has their 2nd chance.
Millay opens up her body, pushes the penalty kick to the right. Banker guesses the other way. We'll see if Lund can end this.
Clara Buhl opened the scoring in the 49th minute. Now has to score to keep the game going. Buhl against Lund. Perfectly taken by Buhl.
Buhl places this PK in the back of the net with confidence. Lund guesses right, but she guesses low. Is this not incredibly fitting for the Women's Cup to end this way?
Incredible for the fans, the viewers at home. I'm on the edge of my seat.
We're in the 9th round of penalty kicks. Could you imagine?
Kaylee Reel against Benkart. Perfectly taken by Reel. Another chance now for Louisville. We're not getting too far away from goalkeepers having to take one as well.
Reel places it in the side netting just perfectly. Banker guesses the other way. Great penalty kick taken. It's like they've done this before.
Maxi Rahl now for Bayern. Lund waves onto the crowd. Cameras are shaking. Venue is shaking. Rahl guessing the wrong way, Lund again, and Rahl keeps it going. To the 10th round.
Rahl's so deceptive with her body there. Kind of makes it look like she's going to push it the other way, but then cuts it back to the left side of the goal. Totally fools Lund. Great penalty kick.
A chance to get the lead again for Louisville. Taken perfectly. That's 3 in a row with ease from Racing Louisville. Neely Martin tucks it away.
Martin approaches, just passes it into the right side. With PKs, you don't need a ton of power. You don't need it to be super fancy. It's all about where you place it. And if you place it perfectly, just like that, there's no chance the keeper is going to get her hands on it unless she just guesses so perfectly right.
Bottom of the 10th frame. Karina Venninger, the Austrian international. Venninger chips it perfectly. We're 2-11. Goalkeeper time.
Wow, through 10, tied in PKs. Both of these clubs battling. Approaches this ball, chips it into the upper V. Lund guesses the other way, and Lund wasn't expecting this, I would imagine.
Keeper versus keeper. Lund versus Benkart. Lund tucks it away. Pump of the fist. Now if she can stop her counterpart, it's a trophy for Louisville.
Lund takes this PK with so much force, making it look like there's no way after all the work that has gotten them to this point and those saves she has made. She's like, there's no way I'm not going to let this go in.
Benkart against Lund. Benkart saved by Lund! The first trophy in Racing Louisville's history. Katie Lund, a Lynn Family Stadium folk hero.
listen to the fans here in Louisville on their feet, loud as they should be, proud of this home club, this young club. They have come out this week. They have played 2 very tough opponents, and they claim the inaugural Women's Cup in style.
Back and forth in the second half to penalties, to the 11th round of penalties. Goalkeeper versus goalkeeper. A keeper in Katie Lund that was subbed in for Michelle Betos, who was having a terrific game, came out due to injury. And now she helps Louisville lift their first ever trophy